have you ever stopped to think about how the constant hustle and bustle of daily life can steer us away from true joy? In a world where we are always chasing desires and achievements, we often forget the simplicity of life. At its core, happiness isn't found in the things we accumulate, but in our ability to appreciate the present. Modern society conditions us to live with our minds constantly occupied. Amid daily commitments, the quest for a prosperous life, and the desire for financial success, it's easy to forget the beauty of simple things. Worries distract us from the genuine joy of simply existing. However, it is precisely in this simplicity that true prosperity begins to flourish. Imagine sitting in silence for 5 minutes, without the pressure to do or achieve anything. This brief moment of self-awareness would already be a way to reconnect with your inner vibration, something that nourishes your spirituality and promotes a prosperous life. The distractions of everyday life often obscure what truly matters. How many times have we found ourselves caught in a cycle of desires and obligations, forgetting to savor the present? In this frantic pursuit, we lose touch with our spirituality, with the power of now. It's interesting how simple things, like feeling the sun on your face or hearing the sound of birds, can bring a sense of well-being if we are truly present to notice. Sometimes, just sitting in a park for 10 minutes can be enough to recharge your energy. The simple joy of living is always within our reach, but we need to make space in our minds to perceive it. When we fill our minds with constant worries, we don't leave room for the true sense of peace and prosperity to enter. A practical example of this is keeping a journal. Writing about 3 things you are grateful for every day can transform your worldview and improve your spiritual vibration, fostering a more balanced and mindful financial life. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to keep receiving content that will lead you to true transformation. The demands of life often make us believe that happiness is always one step ahead, in the next raise, the next achievement. However, true prosperity arises from the realization that we already have more than enough. Spiritual life and even financial life flourish when we free ourselves from the scarcity mentality. An interesting practice is to replace "I need" with "I appreciate" in our minds. This shifts the internal and external vibration, promoting a more balanced life. Moreover, a busy mind hinders self-awareness. Each day brings new desires, and true peace seems always beyond the horizon. By giving ourselves a moment of pause, we realize that the constant search for validation, more success, more money is an illusion. The prosperous life we seek may be more related to what we feel inside us than to what we achieve externally. A calm walk in the late afternoon, for example, can reconnect us with the present and restore our spiritual vibration. It's curious how, when we simplify our thoughts, prosperity in various areas of life seems to naturally emerge. This doesn't mean giving up on goals or financial ambitions, but seeking balance. By slowing down, we allow prosperity to reach us at a more fluid pace, without excessive effort. The balance between a serene mind and a stable financial life is often the key to a more harmonious existence. Something as simple as organizing your surroundings can reflect mental organization. Financial life can be directly influenced by our mental state. An anxious and busy mind can create blockages, while a peaceful mind opens up new opportunities. When we cultivate the joy of being present, without carrying the weight of incessant expectations, prosperity begins to manifest more clearly. This can be observed, for example, when setting financial goals that align with your spiritual values, avoiding the trap of haste or comparison. The small joys of daily life are also an expression of prosperity. When we recognize that happiness can come from simple moments, we find the true meaning of a prosperous life. For instance, having time to prepare a nutritious meal and enjoy it peacefully, without distractions, is already a manifestation of this prosperity. Self-awareness is revealed when we can perceive the intrinsic value of these experiences, something often overlooked amid the rush of life. True prosperity involves much more than financial aspects. It's about a deep connection with our being, with the life around us, and with our spirituality. The more we slow down our minds and seek simplicity, the closer we get to this connection. A practical tip is to spend 5 minutes a day just observing your breath, without judgments. This strengthens the relationship between body, mind, and spirit, creating a state of peace that overflows into all areas of life. The simple joy of living, when cultivated, transforms not only financial life but all aspects. By stopping the relentless search for more, you will realize that you already have enough to be happy and prosperous. Spirituality teaches us to value what we have and understand that true success starts within us. This doesn't mean abandoning our ambitions, but balancing them with moments of pause and reflection. Now, how about observing how your mind behaves in moments of quiet? When you are simply present, without the urgency to achieve something. Focusing on the present moment is a powerful tool for transformation and self-awareness, as well as a forgotten art. In the fast-paced rhythm of the modern world, people easily get distracted, thinking about the future or dwelling on the past. However, it is in the now that the true power of transformation resides. Spirituality teaches us that by focusing on the present, our vibration rises, and a prosperous life becomes more accessible. Walking mindfully, for example, is a simple practice that allows you to observe each step, each breath, without the constant interference of the mind. When we are present, something magical happens. Financial life, worries, and even challenges seem to lose some of their weight. This doesn't mean they disappear, but our relationship with them changes. Imagine walking through a park, focusing on the sensations, the wind, the sounds, the colors around you. This moment of total presence slows down the mind and connects us with what truly matters. A simple practice of conscious breathing during breakfast, for example, can transform the rest of your day. Focusing on the present frees us from one of the greatest villains of modern life, constant stress. When we concentrate on the now, we find peace and clarity. And it is in this clarity that self-awareness begins to bloom. How many times, when facing a problem, have you thought, "Why did I worry so much about this before?" This is the power of the present. The mind, when anchored in the moment, creates a solid foundation for prosperity, both spiritually and financially. Being present is like tuning your vibration with the natural flow of life. Constant distractions lead us away from this tune. When you are fully immersed in what you are doing, whether it's a work project or a simple household task, your energy flows more harmoniously. Financial prosperity also benefits from this presence, as more conscious decisions are made when the mind is focused. Instead of reacting impulsively, you act wisely, aligning your choices with your spiritual values. Walking mindfully is just one way to reconnect with the present. On your next walk, try to notice every detail around you, without letting yourself be carried away by incessant thoughts. This not only brings a sense of peace, but also directly reflects in a more balanced and prosperous life. By focusing on what is in front of you, you will notice that anxiety about the future and financial worries begin to dissolve, making way for clear and creative solutions. When we disconnect from the present, we create barriers that hinder the manifestation of a prosperous life. Our minds, full of thoughts about what we should be doing, become a prison. But by freeing ourselves from this cycle and focusing on the now, the doors to spiritual and financial prosperity open. A practical technique to maintain focus on the present is guided meditation. Choose a quiet moment in your day, close your eyes, and follow a meditation that focuses on breathing and connecting with the now. Being present also strengthens our connection with what truly matters. Spirituality teaches that when we are in the present, we are aligned with a higher vibration, a vibration that promotes self-awareness and a more prosperous life. This state allows us to make more conscious choices that align with our deepest purposes. A simple example would be during a meal. By eating mindfully, you not only enjoy the food more, but also better perceive the needs of your body and mind. When we focus on the present, we begin to notice details that previously went unnoticed. These details can be the keys to unlocking prosperity in various areas of life. Whether it's an idea that arises at work, an insight about your financial situation, or a deeper spiritual connection, everything starts to flow more easily when we are truly attentive to the now. Even conversations with friends or family gain a new level of depth and meaning. The constant practice of focusing on the present not only brings more peace and balance to the mind, but also directly influences our finances and overall prosperity. This happens because, when we are present, we are more receptive to the opportunities that life offers us. These opportunities can come in various forms: a new business idea, a wiser financial decision, or even the realization that true prosperity is not in what we possess, but in how we feel. By being present, we create a solid foundation for everything we wish to build. Whether in the spiritual realm or in financial life, the now is the starting point for any transformation. By taking one step at a time with mindfulness, your vibration aligns with the prosperity you seek. And it is at this moment that you realize that true wealth lies in enjoying the journey, not just in reaching the destination. But it's not enough to just focus on the present. We must also accept it. Accepting the present moment is one of the greatest challenges for the human mind, but it is also one of the greatest sources of peace and prosperity. When we are in harmony with the now, we stop resisting what is happening and start living with greater ease. Spiritual life teaches us that accepting the present, without judging what is good or bad, is key to a higher vibration. This acceptance brings a sense of tranquility that transcends financial and material aspects, connecting us with something greater. However, acceptance does not mean passivity. On the contrary, when we accept the present, we create space to act more consciously and effectively. A practical example is when we face a financial challenge. Instead of resisting or panicking, accept the moment as it is. This doesn't mean resigning yourself, but rather acting with clarity and calmness, seeking solutions with a more balanced mind. When you accept, your vibration stabilizes, allowing creative ideas and opportunities to emerge more naturally. The mind, by nature, likes to judge and label each experience. This habit places us in a constant state of unrest, always seeking something better than what we have now. But when we accept the present moment as it is, without imposing our expectations, we find profound inner peace. This is reflected in all areas of life, including financial life. By stopping the struggle against reality, our energy is redirected to creating a prosperous life more smoothly and fluidly. Acceptance of the present also teaches us about detachment. How many times do we cling to specific outcomes, expecting everything to unfold as we imagined? This attachment creates unnecessary suffering. By accepting what life offers us now, we open ourselves to new possibilities, often better than those we planned. Spirituality invites us to trust in the flow of life, knowing that every moment, no matter how challenging it seems, is an opportunity for growth and self-awareness. Acceptance is a powerful practice that transforms our relationship with the external world. When we are at peace with the present, even the most difficult situations lose their power to affect us negatively. This doesn't mean challenges disappear, but our perspective changes completely. An example would be accepting an unforeseen issue in a work negotiation or financial matter. Instead of becoming frustrated with what went wrong, accept the situation and look for a new strategy with calm and discernment. Accepting the present also means accepting ourselves. Often, we are our harshest critics, constantly judging ourselves for not being good enough. By embracing who we are, with our imperfections and qualities, we free ourselves from this cycle of self-criticism. This personal acceptance is crucial for self-awareness and a prosperous life, as it allows us to grow from a place of love rather than lack. When you fully accept yourself, your vibration rises, attracting more prosperity into your life. Financial life also benefits from this acceptance. When we stop fighting against the current reality, whether it's a tight budget or an investment that didn't work out, we can see more clearly the possibilities for change. Accepting is not giving up, but understanding where you are now so that you can build the next step from that point. This prevents impulsive decisions or those based on fear, allowing your vibration to remain aligned with prosperity and spiritual growth. Practicing acceptance of the present brings a deep sense of freedom. When we are not bound by what should be, we open ourselves to what could be. This mindset, free from judgments and expectations, creates space for new opportunities to arise. In financial life, this mentality can be applied to accepting the highs and lows that are normal in any journey. Accepting the natural cycle of financial life helps us make wiser and more balanced decisions. Accepting the present also teaches us the importance of patience. We live in an era of quick results, but true prosperity, both financial and spiritual, is built over time. By accepting the time needed for things to bloom, we avoid the frustration of unrealistic expectations. An interesting practice is to reflect on your goals and ask yourself, am I accepting the growth process, or am I forcing immediate results? This reflection can help align your vibration with the natural rhythm of life. Acceptance of the present moment directly connects us with greater wisdom. When we stop fighting against what is happening, we allow a higher intelligence to guide us. This means that instead of acting solely with rational mind, we begin to trust more in our intuition and the spiritual forces that govern life. This acceptance brings not only peace but also a sense of higher purpose, guiding us towards a more prosperous and fulfilling life. And speaking of purpose, letting go of attachments is the next essential step to continue this journey. After all, how can we find inner peace and freedom if we are always attached to what we cannot control? Letting go of attachments is like opening a window in a stuffy room, allowing the fresh air of freedom to enter. We live in a society that encourages us to accumulate objects, achievements, external validation, but these attachments only bind us to a vibration of scarcity. When we detach from expectations and judgments, we discover that true prosperity lies in living lightly and freely. In financial life, this is reflected in releasing the fear of loss, which often prevents us from making wise choices. When we let go of attachments, life gains a surprising fluidity. For example, imagine someone who is stuck on the idea that they will only be happy once they reach a certain financial level. This attachment to the future, to the when, prevents them from seeing the opportunities that are already present. Letting go of such thoughts is an act of spiritual courage, as it places us in a position of trust in life, in the natural flow of prosperity that emerges when we stop clinging to control. By letting go, we create space for new possibilities to flourish. Attachment, at its core, is a form of resistance to what life presents us. It stems from fear, insecurity about losing something, or not being enough. But by detaching, we find true inner freedom. A practical example is attachment to perfectionism, which many carry in their work or financial endeavors. By releasing the need for absolute control, we allow creativity and unexpected solutions to emerge. Prosperity does not come from rigidity but from flexibility. Letting go of attachments also transforms our relationship with time. Often, we are stuck in the past or anxious about the future, clinging to situations that have already passed or have not yet arrived. This creates a cycle of frustration and anxiety, preventing true prosperity from manifesting in the present. By releasing these constraints, we open the door to live the now with more fullness and joy. This connects us with a vibration of peace, and this vibration is the foundation of a prosperous life in every sense, including financially. Financial life, in particular, is an area where attachment manifests strongly. We cling to money, investments, results, and this attachment often prevents us from making clear decisions. Detaching does not mean being irresponsible, but rather trusting in the natural flow of abundance. When we release the fear of losing or not having enough, we enter a state of openness to the opportunities the universe offers us. And these opportunities can be unexpected, emerging when we least expect them. Attachment to thoughts is also an invisible prison that prevents us from living fully. How often have you found yourself trapped in a cycle of worries and doubts, unable to find a clear solution? Detaching from repetitive thoughts is a path to self-awareness and mental freedom. By observing thoughts without getting involved with them, you begin to realize that they come and go, and there is no need to hold on to them. This in itself raises your vibration. Spirituality teaches us that detachment is essential for achieving a prosperous and balanced life. When we let go of the need to control, we make room for a higher intelligence to guide us. This also applies to financial matters. How often, by clinging to a decision out of fear of loss, do we end up making things worse? By releasing attachment, we start to act with more wisdom and less pressure. This shift in attitude allows our choices to be more aligned with our values and the natural flow of life. By freeing ourselves from attachments, we also free ourselves from the constant judgment imposed by the mind. Attachment often comes with a need to define what is good or bad, what is right or wrong. But by letting go of this need, we find a new way of living that is lighter and more connected to our essence. This directly impacts our vibration, raising it and attracting prosperity in all areas of life. For example, in financial matters, this lightness benefits us because important decisions are made with greater clarity and less fear. Detachment does not mean giving up, but rather releasing what is beyond our control so that we can focus on what truly matters. This practice frees us from unrealistic expectations and external pressures, allowing our energy to concentrate on creating genuine prosperity. A useful exercise is to review your goals and ask yourself, am I attached to this outcome in a way that prevents me from acting with clarity? This kind of reflection can offer valuable insights into where you need to let go in order to move forward. Detachment also creates space for a deeper connection with the spiritual. By letting go of what binds us to the material world, we begin to realize that true prosperity is not found in things but in the state of being. This doesn't mean abandoning financial life but rather changing our relationship with it. When we detach, we allow abundance to flow more naturally, free from the constraints of fear and scarcity. It is in this state of flow that true freedom reveals itself. One way to test detachment is through observation. Observing thoughts without engaging with them is a powerful skill that liberates us from excessive mental control. Often, we are prisoners of our minds, being carried from one thought to another without even realizing it. But when we practice presence, we distance ourselves from the mental whirlwind and connect with what truly matters. This skill allows us to live with more clarity and awareness, raising our vibration and opening doors to a prosperous life, both spiritually and financially. The practice of presence is not complex but requires discipline and attention. A practical example is meditation, where you simply observe your thoughts as if watching clouds pass by in the sky, without clinging to any of them. This can be done in simple moments of the day, such as during a walk or while having your coffee. By cultivating this practice, your mind becomes calmer, less reactive, and this directly impacts your financial life. Decisions are made with more wisdom and less pressure. Attachment to thought is one of the mind's greatest traps. We often cling to ideas that no longer make sense or worries that never materialize, creating a cycle of stress and anxiety. When we learn to observe thoughts without identifying with them, we free our minds from this prison. This is liberating, as it allows us to live more lightly and consciously. Spirituality teaches us that true prosperity arises when we stop clinging to these limiting mental patterns. When you manage to detach from thought, you open space for intuition and deeper wisdom. Instead of constantly rationalizing and trying to control every detail, you begin to trust more in the flow of life. A practical example would be during an important decision, such as where to invest your financial resources. By quieting the mind for a moment and listening to intuition, clearer insights often emerge than if you were simply analyzing numbers. This balance between mind and intuition connects us to a more prosperous vibration. Observing without engaging with thoughts is a practice that also teaches us about patience and resilience. The mind will always try to pull you back into the whirlwind of ideas and concerns, but by developing this skill, you create a new relationship with your thoughts. Instead of being dominated by them, you begin to command the pace of your life. This doesn't mean thoughts will disappear, but rather that you'll have a new perspective on them. This perspective is essential for those seeking a balanced financial life and elevated spiritual existence. Spirituality teaches us that our thoughts have a direct impact on our vibration and, consequently, the reality we create. When we detach from limiting thoughts, such as beliefs in scarcity or failure, our vibration begins to align with abundance. This is reflected in all areas of life, especially in financial prosperity. By stopping clinging to thoughts of doubt and fear, you make space for new ideas and opportunities that resonate with a prosperous life. The practice of presence also teaches us the importance of being rooted in the now. When we are constantly immersed in thoughts about the past or the future, we miss out on what is happening right in front of us. And it is precisely in the present that real life occurs. The prosperous life we seek, whether spiritual or financial, can only be built when we are fully present in the here and now. By cultivating this presence, we find more peace, clarity, and consequently, more prosperity. Observing thoughts without engaging with them allows us to live with greater emotional freedom. How often have you felt overwhelmed by a flood of negative thoughts? This mental detachment practice helps break that cycle. When you observe without judgment or reaction, you realize that thoughts come and go like waves in the sea. They do not define who you are. This practice is especially useful in moments of financial stress when the mind tends to focus on worries. By detaching from these thoughts, you find more serenity to act wisely. Detachment from thought also gives us access to a new form of self-knowledge. By observing our thoughts, we begin to notice mental patterns that have accompanied us for years, often unconsciously. This insight is valuable as it allows us to identify and release limiting beliefs that hinder our growth. This helps us move toward a prosperous life, both spiritually and financially. The practice of self-observation is a gateway to personal transformation. True mental freedom comes when we realize that we are not our thoughts. This realization frees us to live more fully and connected to our essence. When you detach from thoughts, you begin to live in a state of flow where worries diminish and inner peace grows. This directly reflects in your vibration and, consequently, in your financial life. Detaching from thought does not mean ignoring it, but observing it with awareness and choosing how to respond. This is the path to a transformed life. And this true transformation begins when we realize that the external world is a reflection of our inner state. This means that by deeply knowing ourselves and working on our spirituality, external achievements come naturally. Financial and material prosperity are expressions of our internal vibration. When you transform your beliefs and emotions, you create space for abundance to manifest in your practical life as well. Self-knowledge is, therefore, the key to balancing spiritual success and achievements in the physical world. A powerful practice to facilitate this transformation is creative visualization. By dedicating a few minutes of your day to visualize the prosperous lifestyle you desire, you align your mind with your aspirations. Imagine your financial life flourishing, your material and spiritual achievements balancing. This practice helps solidify what is already within you and brings these vibrations into the real world. Prosperity is not just a spiritual matter but a union of what you cultivate internally with the actions you take in the world. The ego often limits us with its demands for recognition or validation, but we don't need to ignore or deny the importance of these achievements. Instead of being dominated by it, we can use this force to drive our goals. Self-knowledge teaches us that by releasing excessive ego control, we connect to a source of wisdom that guides us to wiser and more balanced choices. External achievements, such as financial and material success, become reflections of this inner harmony, showing that we are aligned with our purpose. Transformation and prosperity also involve revising limiting beliefs that often hinder our external growth. For example, if we believe that money is hard to obtain, this belief limits our actions and, consequently, our results. Self-knowledge allows us to identify and transform these internal barriers, creating new perceptions of what is possible to achieve. A prosperous life is achieved when inner transformation reflects in concrete actions, both spiritually and financially. This transformation is not about choosing between material or spiritual success, but about integrating both. A truly prosperous person understands that financial well-being and external achievements are consequences of inner balance. When we cultivate inner peace, we make wiser decisions regarding work, investments, and business. This creates a financially stable life that is not separate from spirituality but rather an extension of it. The harmony between these two spheres is the foundation of a truly prosperous life. Self-knowledge is like a map to prosperity, as it helps us recognize our strengths and limitations. By understanding what motivates us and what holds us back, we can act with greater confidence and clarity. This directly impacts our achievements in the external world. Transformation begins internally, but its effects spread to all areas of life. Those seeking financial prosperity must first align their beliefs and emotions with their external actions. Financial prosperity, when paired with self-knowledge, gives us the freedom to live the life we desire. By transforming what is within us, we create opportunities in the material world that previously seemed distant. When you are aligned with your essence, external achievements start to happen more smoothly. Your financial choices become wiser, your relationships more balanced, and prosperity becomes a constant in your life. Transformation through self-knowledge also teaches us that it is possible to prosper in a balanced way. There is no need to sacrifice one aspect of life for another. The pursuit of financial prosperity can and should go hand in hand with spiritual development. This means that the financial decisions you make can be deeply rooted in your values and beliefs, creating a virtuous cycle of success and satisfaction in all areas. When you know yourself deeply, you also discover new ways to act in the world with greater effectiveness and intelligence. This clarity ensures that your material achievements are not just the result of effort, but of a prosperous and spiritually aligned mindset. Self-knowledge is not about detaching from external achievements, but ensuring they come from a place of harmony and purpose. By integrating inner success with outer success, you create a prosperous and fulfilling life. One of the most powerful lessons of self-knowledge is that material success does not have to be seen as contrary to spirituality. In fact, financial and personal growth go hand in hand. The more you evolve internally, the more your external life thrives. This shows us that transforming the mind and spirit helps us achieve everything we desire, both internally and externally. After all, it is this balance that truly defines a prosperous life. Now that you've discovered how simplicity and acceptance of the present can transform your life and lead to true prosperity, it's time to take the next step. The next video explores a fascinating concept: the energy that vibrates around us and how it shapes our reality. Did you know that the way you vibrate can literally transform your life? Don't miss the chance to learn how to master this force and create the life you've always wanted. Click the video on your screen and discover how to adjust your vibrations to achieve a life full of abundance and prosperity. See you there.